Let's create faith art together today. This is my Joy #1 kit, Lace and Pearls. And I'm going to be showing you how to make this. We're going to make a new one today. It's full of 7 Bible verses about joy. You know, biblical joy is totally different than everyday happiness that we have, because happiness is just a feeling and sometimes based on your circumstances. But when we practice, engage, believe, and live and feel biblical joy, totally different situation. So that's what this little journal is all about. It's a trifold journal, and it's got a pocket. I've included lots of places to do journaling. So there's pages to do that. There's 7 Bible verses on joy. I've used kind of some pink flowery accents. So we are going to be making that in this video. So let's start off with what the kit looks like when you print it out. There are 4 pages of gorgeous lace backgrounds that I've made. And if you want to print them double-sided, it will actually end up being a sturdy little paper journal that we're going to make. So I've already printed these double-sided. Now, let's talk about your printer. Whatever kind of printer you have has nothing to do with what I'm going to talk to you about now, because the most important part about printing digital items and digital kits is the paper that you print it on. So I have found this koala paper that's 48 pounds and it's double-sided matte photo paper. The quality of the print is just phenomenal. Aren't they beautiful? So my kit to make this kit is print the 4 pages double-sided on the double-sided matte photo paper. And then you have 4 pages of ephemera, Bible verses and things like that. And I print this on Epson. You can use any of the matte photo paper. This is just single-sided. So it's a little bit less expensive because you're not going to be using this back to back. These are just pieces of ephemera. So as you can see, this kit contains 7 Bible verses on joy, some little bands and things like that, lots of little flowers that you can fussy cut. I've created some emblems with joy and some of the reference to the verses. Here's some cards and things we're going to tuck in. There's some tabs on here, some additional stamp ephemera with the number 7 because we have 7 verses. And here's some pockets. So through the magic of video, I will go and cut all of this out and then we'll begin. Back from the magic of video land. So I've basically cut out all of the parts for the kit. And I thought I would just show you a little fussy cut trick that I do in case you don't know. So when you're fussy cutting, one of the secrets is to have a good pair of little tiny scissors that are really sharp. And I'm right-handed, so what I'm going to show you is how Diane does this right-handed. My left hand is basically moving. See how I move the piece of paper, the piece of ephemera that I'm trying to cut? And I just keep moving that around. The other thing that is a tip is when you're cutting this out, if you try to be absolutely perfect and get right on the edge of the line, I mean, you could do all that, but that would kind of drive you crazy and waste a lot of time. The thing is, I end up edging all of my ephemera pieces with distress ink. So if you're going to edge it anyway, what does it matter if there's a little white line where you cut? So you see how I'm maneuvering, twisting the piece of ephemera. So in case you didn't know that, that's one of my little tricks. And then I've got another one for you in just 1 second. Okay, so we've got that cut out. The other thing is I created some tabs for you to use. And you could sit here and cut it out just, you know, straight like that. But again, what happens is these are duplicates. So what I found, my little trick is I actually go ahead and fold it on the fold line first. Okay, so see how I have it folded like that? Okay, now I'm going to cut it out. Basically, you're cutting it out one time, but both sides are going to have the exact same cut. And I find that that is a little bit easier to do. And it comes out. See how much easier it is? And now both sides look the same. So when you flip it over, that one looks a little bit different. You could trim it, but again, if you're gonna edge it, this is not really a big deal. There we go. So there's that one, and let me quickly do the next one. Maybe what I didn't do is I didn't fold it right on the right fold line. But okay, that's not even straight, Diane. Let's see, can I get it straight? Okay, well, we'll try that. You know what, I have a feeling this isn't straight. Okay, so my great idea is not gonna work on this one. Probably because the way I trimmed it when I cut it off the big master sheet, I probably cut it crooked, so it's looking crooked. But anyway, okay, so as I said, you're gonna cut out all of the parts. Now, this particular kit, I sized everything to be made into this tri-fold. There we go, got all that done. I sized all the parts, all the ephemera pieces, to be made into this tri-fold. And so you've got 4 sheets of background paper, so you could make this kit any way you want. And what's really fun about what we're gonna be making is that this actually slips into a business size envelope, and you could send this as a gift of encouragement to somebody. So this particular size, there is an opportunity for you to be able to share it. So what I'm gonna now explain to you is, if you wanna craft along with me, is I'm going to be making another tri-fold brochure and walking you through how to use all of the pieces and the parts. So one of the things, my printer, I have not been able to figure out. I don't know if it does. My friend's does, but mine doesn't. Mine ends up having this little tiny white trim all around my papers when I'm doing a full page like that. And so I've already trimmed both of these sheets. And what you want to do then is pick which one you want to use on your for the main part of the trifold. And if you measure it, and again, this is different because everybody's printer is going to be different. Once I trimmed all the white edges off, this is a little bit more than 10.5. And because it's easier if you just make it 10.5, what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to pick, I think I'm going to pick this one, and I'm going to trim it because we're going to score it. And it's easier if you know the numbers. So I'm going to make it 10.5 exactly. And so let me get my big cutter over here real quick, because I'm not really good at doing it just straight. So I want 10.5, and as you can see, it is such a little tiny piece that's going off, but that's okay. So it's exactly 10.5 now. Let me move that out of the way. So let's make for sure that it is, yep, it's 10.5. So you're just trimming it the width-wise, because what we're gonna do now is we are going to score it. And when you have the width of 10.5, and we're gonna make a trifold, you are gonna score at 3.5 and at 7. So hopefully you have a scoreboard. If you don't, you can just use your, use a ruler, and that's okay. I just like the scoreboard. It makes my life a lot easier, because you get a quick, nice fold. So 3.5 and 7. 3.5 and 7. Okay, so we've got that done. Move the scoreboard out of the way. And now we have our paper. So basically you are now just going to fold it, and I will keep my bone folder, and I kind of fold mine both ways just to get a nice crease. Depends on, you know, if you printed this on cardstock, which you can do, you just don't get the beautiful quality of the print. I mean, that looks just like an actual photograph. And that's because, as I mentioned earlier, this is matte photo paper, and it's the one that I showed you that's a higher weight. So this edge is going to be our outside edge, and then this one we are going to fold in this way. Okay, so we're going to do that. There we go. So there's our trifold. So this goes in like this covers over it, and we're all set to start decorating. Now, the second piece of paper that I had you make, you are going to trim this down, because what we're going to do, if you remember from my first demo, is we are going to make a belly band on the inside, and we're going to have a little portfolio here. And I measured this, and this is 7.5 by 3. So we are going to trim down this other piece of paper because we're just going to do one fold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back and I'm going to score this at 3. And again, look at which way you would like the paper, because you're going to be cutting off some of this. I like that as my outside. So let's do that at, wait, did I just say that right? Now, of course I'm thinking, oh, and look, and see what happens when you didn't turn this over, Diane. So on that side, I trimmed off all the white. See the little bit of white that's the way my printer does? I so wish I could have a printer that would print to the very edge. Print full, but it doesn't. I'm still trying to work on it. It's a new great Epson, which I absolutely adore. It's the Epson Eco Tank, and I recommend to everybody. So I can't just make it that way. Okay, so we're gonna fold this so that it's 3 inches, as we said. So we're gonna just make a score mark at 3. There we go. And now that's folded at 3. And as I mentioned, it only needs to be 7.5 inches tall so that it will slide in the belly band. So what we're going to do next is bring back my cutter. I think I need to get one of those half-size ones of these. So let's just go ahead and we're gonna trim that right at 3. There we go. So that part's done. Then you'll have an extra piece, which you can always use in any other item. Oh, okay, I trimmed that and I forgot to trim the 7.5. Okay, let's go 7.5 on there and trim that down, and now that is all set. So pretty much we've got our parts ready. So as you can see now, this will fit right in there. It's gonna fit right in here. So you can fold it that direction or this direction, it's up to you. I just love this lace paper. It's just so grungy and beautiful. So you can see how that works. So the first thing we're going to do is actually make the belly band for that. Let me move all my, you can't see on camera, but let me move all my junk off of here. Okay, so you have a choice. I gave you 2 pieces that you can use the belly band. On the original one that I made, I saved this pink piece and I went around that. And I really like that, so I think I'm going to do that again, which means I will be using this piece as my band. So let's trim this up a little bit. First I'm going to cut it there, and let's trim that. Because obviously it wasn't cutting right, and it is definitely tall enough. Okay, we've got that. So this is going to go right there. Now, before I go any further, I am going to edge all of my parts that I've already cut out. So I'm going to show you that real quick on camera, and then I'll take a break and go ahead and do all the parts. You don't need to watch me doing that. Basically, I use Distress ink. I particularly like ground espresso. A lot of people use tea dye. Tea dye has a little bit of an orange tone in it to me, which I just like this really dark color. So ground espresso is my choice. And for me, it just definitely looks aged when I use it. And as you can see, I'm just using the foam applicator. And from the top, I just kind of do the edge like that. when I'm at my other work desk where I just work not on camera, I have one of the glass mats, and so I just do it on there. But that would be going right there. So the other thing, I will be edging, but I also did corner round on all the corners of this trifold journal, and I use my crocodile, and I'm going to use the half. I love this one. Just going to use those edges. So if you want to go ahead and do all of your corners, you can. So let's do those edges, and then I will, so we've rounded them, and then I'm going to ink all my edges. So that's what we'll be doing right there, okay? So that's going to go like that, and when it's folded, I actually round that also. So I like all of my edges to be rounded. So it's like that. So now you're going to go back over here, refold it this way, and put it in the, oops, crocodile, and make sure it's edged. I just think, because this is a lace and pearls kit, I like the softness, the way we did that. So go back here, and I did those edges, and now I'm going to do this edge also. Half and the half. Okay. So see how it's nice and round, and I like how that looks. It looks really, really pretty. Okay, so I'm going to stop the camera, and I'll be right back once I've got everything edged. I'm back. I have everything edged with ground espresso. So let's move that out of the way. Where I'm going to start first is to make the belly band right here, the tuck spot. And as I said, I'm going to use this piece, which I really think it's just so pretty. Now, because I've already edged the corners, it's going to be squared, and you're going to have to go back and trim that, but that's okay. And I use art glitter glue. Just started using it a couple months ago, and I absolutely love this. Dries quickly. The fact that you get this super fine tip really works well, because you can control, because you don't want your glue seeping out from everything. So I'm just going to do the one edge first till we lay it down. Let's move that out of the way. So I've got that on there, right at the edge, right at the fold line, on the inside of the fold line. So we've got that down, and that's there. And make sure, keep it open from glue getting in there, which I've been known to do. I'm just gonna do that all the way to the edge. And see why we trimmed it so that it fits in here? There's a little bit of an edge since it's only 3 and these panels are 3.5. So that works. And of course I didn't come down far enough, did I? Well, that's just the way it's gonna be. Okay, then I'm going to take that, and I'm gonna come to this side, and I'm gonna trim that. Go back to the nice corner, the rounded part, excuse me. I don't want to get glue on here. And yeah, I messed that up. I didn't come down far enough. Well, that's just the way it is. Okay, nothing's perfect. This is handmade, right? Okay, so we've got the belly band there. We know that's where we're going to go with that. Let's leave the cover to the last, because I think I'd like to put the things inside, and then we can decide together what we want to do on the cover. So I've got all of my parts over here in piles. I've edged everything. I've already folded them back. So if you'll notice in my kit, I give you the fold lines so that you can just fold that over, and it just fits in there so nicely, and it fits right there. So I'm going to put that on that side right there. That's going to be a nice tuck point. And a lot of people will say, what's the purpose of this? So let's say you're a person that does Bible study, and you maybe do a devotion every day or something like that. You can use this kit, because I've got 7 Bible verses about joy in the kit. And you could just decide, I'm going to spend 7 days and focus on joy, that I want more joy in my life. What does joy really look like? And let's go to God's word. So you can use it in that respect once you make this. As I mentioned earlier, you can also use it as a gift. You could make this, maybe you've got a friend that's sick, going through any issues in their life, and you want to encourage them. So you could make this as an encouragement. So we're going to put the first Bible verse in, which is James 1:2. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds. Which, of course, yeah, nice words, sounds good, but sometimes is very hard to do, because the last thing we usually think of doing when we're suffering or going through anything like cancer or issues with your children and stuff like that is that I'm going to be sitting there going, thank you, God, thank you for this trial and tribulation. But that's exactly what God calls us to do, is to praise him, to give him all the glory, and to know that he is with me no matter what's going on in my life. So there's our first verse. We'll put some tuck things in later. Let's get the Bible verses down. The next Bible verse we're going to add is Galatians 5:22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, and faithfulness. And so what you're looking at here is that when the Holy Spirit resides in you, he gives you that. That's part of his gift to you, is you've made an acceptance of Jesus as your Savior. I'm going to use a piece of this doily. Now, if you don't have doilies, like I've been slowly collecting some, I actually found this for $1.25 at my favorite Dollar Tree. So you can get them if you don't have any antique things. And of course, for $1.25, you can just cut it, right? We can cut anything up when it's that kind of stuff. So I wanted to just put a little bit of a pretty decoration in the back. So let's do that. Hopefully my lines are going to be fairly straight. And I think I might have made this, yeah. I wanted to get the, let's see, I like the curve on it. So let's shorten this here. I don't have my fabric scissors over here, and let's make this a little bit thinner. But now I have little pieces to go into my stash of things to add. So I'm going to put that there. And there we go. We are going to put that like that. And then I think I'm going to use the number 7 on here because, as I said, there's 7 Bible verses. So how about if we put that like that? And then adding some flower decorations. Now, one of the things about any kind of junk journaling that you're making, or any kind of art that you make, there's a thing called a cluster in your mind. A lot of people will make stuff and they'll have things all over the page and they're never connected or touching. And what happens is your eye looks at that and doesn't know where to rest. So it doesn't see it as pleasing. When you cluster things and somewhat touch things, you will find that it actually visually is much more pleasing. So even though this isn't touching that, it's close enough that it appears as a cluster. So let's glue those things down. Now, obviously, this is just one way. These are one way to make this kit. Hopefully you will use your creativity. I'm showing you this as kind of a little template. If you want to mimic mine, that's perfectly fine. It does not matter. And let's put this down next with the glue. Okay, let's move it off just a tiny bit. Okay, we're going to tuck the 7 there. I always try and include numbers because when you have so many words all the time, and the numbers can have a significance of, like I said, for this particular kit, there's 7 Bible verses that we're looking at. So I just included the number 7. It just makes things, I don't know, makes it more pleasing. Oh, I'm doing great here, just dropping stuff everywhere. So let's put that there. There we go. And I think we're going to add these flowers. Now, I'm just going to give you an example. If I just stuck these flowers up here, I mean, I guess that would look okay. But again, my eye's going to go to the words, and then it's going to go up there, and then it's going to, like, where am I going next? But for me, when I put it like this, right, it's clustered them. It's kept your eye in a pleasing type of a manner. So over on this panel, our little tuck part, I must have gotten some glue on there. Yeah, I did a little bit too much. Okay. So that panel is going to be right there. So right now it looks like, why would you put anything on it? But when this comes out, let's put something over here. One of the things that I love to make is what I call emblems. And so I've given you 2 different sizes of all the joy emblems that I made. So a smaller one and a larger one. Because again, you might be making this different than the way Diane does. So Diane's going to put this over here. I think I'm going to add, grunge it up just a little bit more. So I'm going to put that there. I like my big flower on here. And then how about if we use this postage stamp? And again, I'm going to keep them somewhat clustered. Now these aren't touching, but they're still clustered together. So let's do that. So we're going to add that. If you're new to faith art journaling, I hope this gives you some inspiration and some ideas, because I'm just starting my shop. I have been creating faith art for 25 years. And basically, I used to just make digital things for myself. I would decide I'm going to add some Bible verses. I'd go to my computer and just make a Word document and, you know, put some verses on a page. So I'm just starting all my kits. But what I find that when I'm focusing on God's Word and I'm including it in my creativity, there's this connection that I feel with God, and that's pretty sweet. And that's what the whole point of faith art is. Okay, so we've got that all prepared. Now when we cross over here, this is going to be the inside. So when you open it, remember, you're going to see this 2-page spread first. So what I'd like to do is use this really pretty piece of ephemera that I created, and then we're going to add another Bible verse on here. So I've got this fun background, and how about let's add this right onto here. So you can layer the parts that I've made. And the other thing is, you know, once you get a digital kit, you can make this many, many times. You can print this and cut things out and have it in your stash. So when you're going to make any kind of a journal, you always would have little snippets of God's Word to add to a journal. As time goes on, you're going to see a lot of videos that I'm working on where I'm going to show you how I've made lots of different things, and everything is about my faith. So you're going to see my faith represented. I'm a born-again Christian, and Jesus is my Lord and Savior. So let's add joy again to this one even. Let's put that over here. I kind of like that, like that. Okay. Once you make this, once you make your kit, would love to see you, if you want to post it, that would be really, really wonderful, and would make me happy to see what you do with things. Okay, let's go back to what we're going to put into this particular pocket. Oh, one of the cool things I wanted to share with you. So these little postcards, these are in French, and these are not just something I found on the internet and put in my kit. Actually, one of the girls who comes to my Bible study every week, her father-in-law, he was in World War II, and he was over in France, and he met his future wife during the war, and they corresponded with each other and wrote letters. And of course, that's what everybody did in those days. I'm going to add this little tab on it so you can pull it in and out. And he's now dead. And when she found out I was starting to make digital junk journal kits, and I was saying, oh, I need more ephemera stuff. And so she gave me so that I could scan. I don't have the originals now because they're hers, but she gave me all of the postcards and the letters, and you will see in my upcoming kits where you will be able to see. So this is actually somebody that I kind of feel like I know. So I would tuck this in here. And why do you put these things in here? So the back is white. So somebody could actually sit here and journal. You could journal, count it all joy. What does that mean to you? Let's see, what else am I going to add in that one? So I have some stuff that I've bought off Temu and things like that. I think I'm going to add one of these little pieces of paper. You can, make your own, find your own. If you buy stuff from Temu, I have a video on my Temu haul that I got, lace and trims, but I also bought lots of ephemera, things like that. And how about we put a little bit of music in there too? Count It All Joy sounds like a song, so that's what I would put. Again, this is white background, so you can journal on there. So there's our inside. I think it's really pretty. Okay, hopefully you do too. Let's set this aside for a second, and what we're going to do now is we are going to make the, hold on, let me get my example over here so I can remember what I did. We're going to make our little tuck through. So this is going to be the front cover, and let's add this piece. I like this piece. Now this is a little bit too long, too wide. So I'm just going to bring it in a little bit more on the tab. Again, I make these universal so that you can fit it in lots of different types of journals. So I'm not going to go back and change this and make it smaller. Just tuck it in is all you have to do. And then I'm going to re-edge it. And it will be good to go. So let's see. We're going to put that there. And you put your glue on the tabs so that it gives it some space so you can put tucked things in there. That's the whole point of the little flaps. You can always just put something down that doesn't have flaps. You just can't add too many in the pocket is what happens. Okay, we've got that on there. And then let's look at adding another Bible verse. I think I like this one on here. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. As I said before, sometimes that is very difficult, but that's what we're called to do, is no matter what's happening in our life, we are called to rejoice. Say, thank you, Father, because he has a plan. Okay, so we've got this little tuck spot, and this comes in your kit, this little bird, which is pretty. And I am going to use, I don't know if you have this kind of a punch. I just got this off of Amazon. It's a, here, let's see if you can see it. It's like a tab instead of a circle. It's basically what it is. So let's punch that. And because I didn't make this on real thick paper, it'll actually work well. And I like to add little pull-out things sometimes. So we're going to add yarn, or excuse me, we are going to add some beautiful little, looks like ribbon. Okay, so I fold it in half. I go through that, pull it through, pull this back up. Now you have to be careful because this is only paper. You don't want to yank on this. It's not like it's a card. So you want to gently pull this together. Sometimes you can even just glue it down. So I said pull gently to make it flat again. Okay, why is it not working for me right now? What am I doing there? Let's see. Now what I should have done, you know what? Let's do it. Hold on. I am going to add, I'm going to glue this to a piece of cardstock. Let me see if I have something beside me that I can just glue it to real quick. Yes, I do. Okay, I've got a piece of pretty heavy duty paper. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna glue that on there so that we do not rip how pretty this is. Okay, so let's put that right on the edge so I don't have to cut that edge. Okay, so now we've just reinforced it, which I think will work a whole lot better. And I made it light again so that you can journal on the back. So let's just go around that, go around the edges. So I don't know if you print your stuff on cardstock or what kind of paper you use. I found, like I said, that my secret is the paper that you use is very, very important. Oh, sorry about that. Can't control when my phone rings. Okay, so I finished cutting that out. Let's re-edge it. Now we've got a nice sturdy little tuck, and I repunched it with that again. So now when we do this, Diane, it should be a whole lot easier to do this. Now, this particular little ribbon, it's like a burlap ribbon. Guess where I found that? At Walmart. It came in this plastic package. Let me see if I can show it to you. I think I might have it near me. Yeah, here it is. Okay. This I got at Walmart. You got 8 ribbons. I think it was like $7 or $8. But the reason that I bought it was because it's all in one color family. And there's some really unique, there's some strings and some other different fibers. And then this one was in there that's on the top. So it was a pretty good deal because I like that for a lot of my vintage type work. Okay, so we've got that done now. That works much better and we don't have to worry about it ripping. There we go, finally got it tight. And then I always just like to make an angle. Of course, if it falls apart, that's okay. I like it to be that way. So let's do this one also. And we'll just kind of fray it a little bit on the edge. There we go. Okay, so there's one. And I think I'm going to put this other piece of paper in here that is, I don't know. Maybe I won't put that there. Well, let's leave that for now. We'll just have that one thing in there. And then I made these word strips for the kit. And this one is joy. And I think I want that there. So I left that on in case I wanted to use it a different way. I left the edges when I was cutting it. But I think I like that. Yeah, I like that right there. Let's do that one. Okay, let's put our... There we go. Okay, so there's our front cover. Now we're going to open it up. And what I decided to make was like a little notepad. And so I'm sure you're like everybody else. I make coffee dyed paper all the time. And if you haven't tried using graph paper, it actually works really cool. So I've taken some pieces of graph paper and I'm gonna put 3 together. And you know what? I did not bring my stapler over here. Hold on one second. Let me get my stapler. I have a huge table in the middle of my studio and 4 people can sit there. And every Wednesday we do Bible study and faith art together. So that's where I'm usually crafting. And I just made this new desk beside my computer to be, oh, of course, wouldn't you know I didn't put that in. Okay, needs more staples. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, so that's where I normally sit to craft. So now that my new workstation that I've created so that I don't have to put my camera up and down 10 times, I just created a whole setup right here with my new arm and things like that. I also got myself a monitor so that I could see, because when you're underneath the camera and you have no idea, am I still in camera and that kind of stuff, I bought myself a monitor, which is what I get to look at. So, okay, so that's what I would be putting right there. And I stapled it together for people just so it'd make a whole lot easier. And you could fold these if you wanted to, just to show the person. So anyway, I was talking about doing coffee stain paper. I also had a post a couple weeks ago where I was making a ton of copies, because when you start, you don't just want to make a couple sheets. You want to make as much as you can. And so what do you do to dry them? Well, I have one of those drying racks that I had because I live in Florida, and excuse me, I go to the pool in the summertime. I'm at the pool all the time. No, where am I? Okay, I'm going to use Rejoice in the Lord because I want to cover that up, right? So let's trim that. Anyway, I decided, why don't I go get that out? And I brought it over and put a towel underneath, even though I have tile floors. And I used clothespins and I hung it. I'll post it again to show you. So it worked out really, really well. So I could make about 70 sheets of paper. Now, let's see. Did I staple that? No, I'm not going to staple it. You know what? It's stapled together, so it'll be okay. So let's just put enough glue on it and it will work. So we're going to put that right there. Hold that down a little bit. Then we're going to add another one of the word strips on top of it to make it all pretty. So we'll add that there. And I may have to trim that a little bit more because it's going to be right in the fold. Okay, we'll just trim it. There we go. Oops, get it straight, Diane. There we go. And that looks really nice. Okay. Let's add some more Bible verses. So I think I'm going to put the heart here. So I kind of like that. And then my plan is, let's put this over here. And again, I'm going to have to tuck it in just a tad. It's a little bit wide. It would be good on the main trifold, the size that I made it. So we're using it on the inside. So we'll just trim it up a little bit. There we go. Re-edge it. There, because I'm going to put that there. And then I made this other word strip. Let's put joy on there. I think I like that. Let's see. I feel like I want something underneath there. What should we use? Well, let's see. I could use that and edge it, tear it. No, I don't have that. I don't know if I want lace. Let's see. You know what? I know what I'm going to do. So that leftover piece from the main 2 pages, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to, let's see, we only need a little bit. So I'm going to tear this, and I'm going to use this as a backing. I just love that. Yeah, I think that'll be pretty. See how that looks? Okay, and then we'll edge it. There we go. Just adds a little. Let's tear those edges. I like everything to be not perfect, to be honest. Okay, now that looks nice. Do we want it that way? Yeah, and actually the fact that it's angled is even cooler. Okay, it just adds a little touch. Okay, let's edge that. Let's put that on there. Oh, I think I had going the other way. Yep, I had going this way. That can kind of stick off there. That works. Okay, let's put the Bible verse. Let's make it kind of come off of there. There we go. Okay, now we're going to add this here. We're going to add this pocket. Put a little bit inside there. Okay. I'm gonna put this pocket here. Now, my girlfriend, who is has so graciously agreed to test some of my kits, I gave her this kit, and she made it, and she did. Gosh, she made it gorgeous. I am gonna have a little video. I'll make a little reel for you to look at the way she did it, and it's just awesome. What I want to do is tuck some of the a verse in here, and again, you know what, I think we should, because this is just on that paper, let's edge it let's reinforce it, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, we're gonna reinforce it that way. Let's put that on there. Just it'll be, I wouldn't have to do it if I was just pasting it down by itself and nobody's gonna manipulate it. But because I'm using it as a tuck-in, I think I like it when it's a little bit sturdier. So just have a piece of cardstock, or some kind of, you can use your coffee dyed paper, you can use whatever you want. Okay, so we would put that in there. Let's edge it again. Edge it from both sides. Okay, so we've got that one. Let's use our other really fun little, as I mentioned, our love postcards from a friend. And then, you know what I think I'm gonna make? I'm just gonna make another little piece, and we're gonna put this on the top of it. Okay, so this is one piece of paper. Yeah, that'll work. Is that the right size? Again, these are just pieces of paper that I had left over. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, you know what though? I think I will edge it first. Let's edge it. Let's corner round it. Listen to me. Let's corner round it. So I'm gonna make that so it looks more like a little tab, right? And then let's put this on it. Let's put this tag. Rejoice in the Lord. Okay, here we go. Let's put that on. Because I'm using my glitter, my glue, just keep using it. I'm not putting the needle back in, but when I'm sitting here by myself, I put the needle back in, because you do not want to get that all full of glue and then you can't get through it, because then what good would it be? Okay. I'm going to wipe it off though, because it's getting kind of thick. I'm going to stick that back in there right now. And let's edge this whole little piece of paper. Now the cool part of when you do coffee staining of regular inexpensive paper, it kind of makes it, I love it, the crinkle sound, first of all. That part's fun. And then it just gives it a little bit more tooth, is what they call it, I think. So there we go. So that would be our inside. Okay. Now I might come back and add a few little things, but I just wanted to get through this part. Okay, let's look at what we have for the back. And I think that I want to use this Bible verse. And look how pretty that lace is on there. And you know what? I want to add something. First of all, I am going to trim this down a little bit. Okay, let's just trim the edges. And let's use the corner rounder, but I'm going to use the quarter to re-edge it. Listen to me, edge. What I'm trying to say is round the edges. There we go. Okay, I think I like that a little bit better. Let's put our dark staining on all of our edges again. Okay, that fits a little bit better. But I feel like it needs something. So what did I grab over here? I've got some pieces. Let's see, I could do a real piece of lace. I've got that sitting here. That might work. Let's see what else I've got. I've got this real, oh, I like this better, I think. Look, I've got this beautiful piece of, I don't even know what this, organza, I think is what it's called. Maybe if we put it like that, I think I like that best. Okay, so let's trim. Let's trim it up just a little bit. Take away those edges. Okay. So I kind of want to have like a little fold there. And I think we'll have enough glue. Now you don't want this to be sticking off too much because it has to slide in, especially off the back. And then we'll have this on there. I think I like that. I think that's pretty. Okay, so let's see if we can get this down. Take off my pin. I'm just going to hold it here and put some glue down. And then I'm going to go into the fold of where I'm trying to fold it and get some glue to hold it together. And then I'm going to do it on this side. Of course, because it's like an organza, the glue's going all the way through, but that's okay. Now, let me hold my finger on there. Put some glue on this part. Whoops. And let's see, Diane, get it straight. Don't you love when you make something and then you look later and go, oh, I thought that was straight, and it wasn't. Okay, now, problem is my fingers are kind of glued. Now, this is when you get to see why you like art glitter glue. There's a Barely glue too. I just didn't buy that one when I was just, so I just got hooked on this. And of course, I just said make it straight, and I didn't. Okay, hold on. Let's get this straight on my lines here. There we go. Hopefully that's better. Okay, that looks good. Now I feel like I want to add something to my heart. What if I added some bling? What if I added, okay, now I don't even know if you can still get these. I have so much old stuff in my stash. I've been doing this for 25 years. So you may say, well, where did you get that, Diane? Well, you may not be able to get it because it might not even exist anymore, but then it may. Now, I will tell you, of course, I probably got all this at Joann's or Michael's, and look in Dollar Tree, because Dollar Tree's come up with some gorgeous things like this now. It kind of amazes me if you don't have the, my regular Dollar Tree has things now. There's super Dollar Trees too. Do I want it there or do I want it over there? Well, that kind of looks cool, but then I don't like the point. No, I think we're going to put it over here. Okay, let's see if I can get that. Maybe we just put this one part on. Oh, maybe I do it this way. It'll fit. There we go. Okay, so this is the whole stick-em piece. There we go. So I like to line it up before I take it off that plastic. There we go. Then you just lay it on down, and it is on there. Yes, I think that looks pretty. What do you think? Doesn't that look pretty? Just adds a little touch. Okay. Whoops, what's this? Oh, piece of trash. Okay, looking very, very good. That one's sticking out, so let's trim that this way. There we go. This one's to just stick everywhere. So here's our little pocket, which again, I think is looking pretty good. So the trick is, how many Bible verses did we do? Do we have them all on? And in my stash pile, I don't see them. So let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 4 here. So then there needs to be 3 over here. 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've already put them all down. Yay, they're all done. Okay, so this would go back over here. And that fits right on there, which is nice. Okay, so now if we come back in here, we've already done the middle of the back. And then, and you know what? What I didn't do and I should have done is when you fold that in, because it's being folded, it's just slightly over the edge. So let's just trim slight bit off so that it will go into the fold much better. And then of course I'm gonna have to edge it again. I mean, corner round it. Why do I always say that? Let's just get that back on there. And corner round it again. Let's edge it back up. There we go. Okay, now when it folds, see, it fits together. Okay, so we've got 2 surfaces left to do. We've got the front and we've got the back. So what I did originally, and I like that, is I'm going to put Joy on the back, and I am going to put some brads in there. So hold on 1 second. Let me get some brads out of my giant kit over here. Let's put that dark brown. There we go. Okay. And I need, okay, do I have that here? No, I don't. I don't have my little poker, so I'll just use my pin. I'll just put my pin and go around it. I'm going to put some brad. So I'm going to make it look like it's bradded onto the back, but of course it's not, because we wouldn't want that to go through the whole journal. So we're going to put that on. There's one. Let me do the next one. I just plugged a hole with the needle from the glue. Gotta improvise, right? And of course, where did it just go? There it is. Okay. And stick that in there. And there we go. We've got our brads, which I think will look really pretty. Okay, now before I put this on there, let's leave that off for a second. I have this piece, Count It All Joy, that I didn't use. So let me think of what do I want to do. I've got a couple stamps left. We've got this one piece left. Okay, so the way I made this the first time was I took this really pretty pink piece and I wrapped it around, which I still think I like. So it's kind of right in the middle. And, okay, I gotta plan this now. So first of all, I'm gonna trim it. Let's trim it. So tentatively, we're going to add that. Okay, and the parts that I wanted to add onto here were, I want to use the big joy emblem that I had, and then I had put holes in here and then done some string around. The problem that I have with it, and I'll show you the first demo that I made, well, I'll get it together yet, is when you come around and tie it back together, it's like it covers up the word. So let me think if I'm gonna do that this time or not. I may not use any string. I think I just like that. But I want some more things on there. So what if we added some lace? If I put a real piece of lace strip on there, which I think that's pretty. Okay, let's do that. So that's for my back. Okay, if we put this strip of lace and then we put this over the lace, I like that. But maybe a little bit more. Here, I've got a wider piece. Let's see. Oh, no, I think maybe that's a little bit better. Hopefully you all agree. Okay, I like that better. And then I had this piece of, okay, guess where I got this? Dollar Tree. They actually have a bin. Now, this is in a super Dollar Tree. They have a bin of little rolled fabric for $1.25, and I just thought this was so pretty. Okay, let me cut a piece and we'll see. Let's cut a piece off of where I already have a big piece hanging out. Okay, let's do that. Let's just do. And it frays, which I love. Okay, so let's see. Let's cut that. Okay, let's cut it, see what we think here. Yes, I like that, but maybe it's too long. Yeah, let's trim it a little bit more. And you can tell I'm not making any of this like straight because it's supposed to be like kind of grungy and soft. When things aren't perfectly square, that gives your work a softness to it, which is actually makes me feel good. So I'm gonna just pull some of this off and edge it like that. There we go, that's enough. Okay, so what if we put that there with the edging I want there, and I put this here, and then we put the band and that. Yeah, I think that's much prettier. Okay, I think I like that. I like that as my front cover. Okay, so that's ready. This, we could just wrap it, and then that piece of paper around it's gonna work. I think I like that, the band. Okay, let's do that. So let's add some glue. Keep that pretty little scalloped edge on there. And then we'll go around here, and I'll put some glue over here to hopefully hold it down. There we go. Just soften that down. It's got that on there, okay. And then we're gonna add this piece. You know, I don't like the way that's rolling. Let's just trim it off. Yeah, and fray it. Okay, that's much better. Okay, so we're just gonna, actually we'll just put some glue on it. The paper band is gonna come around it, so it will be okay, it'll stay down. Okay, got that on there. So that works. And then we are going to, yes, oh, so pretty. Okay, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna wrap it around the back. I've got all my glue on it. I might have mentioned, but I'm gonna say it again. Actually, what's fun about this size of trifold is that when it's done, it will actually fit inside a legal envelope, and you can mail it to somebody, which is really nice. Okay, let's trim that. There we go. That part's done. Let me get some of this glue off of here. Okay. There we go. And now we're going to add the joy. Okay, I feel like it needs something, but I don't want to add any string this time. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some more brads on that one to make it look like, I don't know, it just kind of frames it really well. Let's see if I can get 2 of these out of here. Yeah, those are the same color. Okay, we'll do the same thing. We're going to poke a hole. There, I'll poke a hole, and then I just move it around to make the hole bigger. Put my brad in. Okay, come on, go in there. There we go. Yeah, I think I like that better. But you can make it any way you want. Let's eyeball that. That looks about right. Move it around, get the hole a little bit bigger. Like I said, on my other desk, I have a tiny little punch, which I normally use. Uh-oh, see, I haven't put my glue back, my thing back in there. It's getting clogged up. Okay. And let's go in there. There we go. I think that looks good. Turn it so that they don't stick out. There, I feel like that just settles it a little bit better. Very nice, very nice. I'm happy with that. So if you're looking for some lace, any place that sells fabric, even Walmart, I bought a yard of lace at Walmart for like $3. And obviously I just keep cutting it up and putting it on things. So that works really well. If you don't have old lace, you could take the new lace and coffee dye it. So we're going to put that on, we're going to put it on that way on that part, I think. So we've got some parts left over. Yeah, I like that. Do I want to add Count It All Joy? No, we got 2 joys. I think just 1 joy will work best. So let's add that. sure my little brad points are inside instead of sticking out. There we go. And we are going to put that right there. And hold it down for a second and make sure it's all glued down, which I need to put some glue right there. There we go. Okay. There we go. I think this is pretty much finished. Okay, we're going to tuck it back in there. I like that. Okay, so in the kit, there was one other piece of old French writing. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this, and I'm going to stick it behind here as another little piece. So, it is finished. Now, hopefully when you do yours, you're going to be a little bit, take more time instead of being on a camera and make this a little bit longer. I'll fix it when I'm done, but I just wanted to get through the whole thing and show it to you. So here is our finished Joy trifold with a pocket. Rejoice in the Lord, count it all joy. Count it all joy from James 1:2. We've got our little note pads. We've got our another Bible verse there. We've got our, excuse me, this little fold out. Somebody can write notes on there. We've got all of our verses. We added some bling. We've got another verse on there. We tuck that back in and fold it that way. There's some more verses. And there we go. There is the finished Joy journal. This is the first journal. I'm actually working on a number 2 one with 7 more verses about joy. So this is the pink pearls and lace version. Blessings to you. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you make one for yourself and make one for a friend and share it. Give some encouragement today. Here's a great way to do that. Thank you.